When you think about the movie kind of going out there now, being with the fans, is that nervous?
I never
excited? Like, how do you,
dreamt.
as a filmmaker, how do you kind of balance this social media world and how they then kind of take the movie and go from there?
I am exhilarated and terrified.
Do what?
Did you feel the earthquake this morning?
No.
Oh, were you not here?
Yeah, I knew it's there. And they say there's Leaf Schreiber is doing a great show right now on CNN. And right last night he was talking about the rim around the Pacific, and we are right in line. This one is about 300 years overdue.
Do you have like an earthquake preparedness?
I do. Key is go to bed. Always have shoes, and when it shakes, glass is going to be everywhere. When it shakes, tracksuit. If you can, a bottle of water, and get out the house as soon as possible.
I love that. That's good advice. So speaking of advice, is it true that the Fede advice is correct? That you really gave him that note to don't fuck up?
No, that's a joke.
Okay.
Except the fact you mean
right?
it. I'll come looking for him.
What was it about him that you felt like would be the right person to...
His bio, his work. It's all about the work. And also about the writing. He had a good... for this genre, he's a good writer. And so I then, once we go on that, I try and keep my distance. I don't get in the way. When he's done it, I'm most useful when it's filmed and it is cut. And usually the cuts are like this long. So I was sitting there and I give notes. And he doesn't have to take it, but he actually was very graceful and took him on board. I thought he was taking the mickey out of me, but he actually did most of them. So I was very impressed.
Are there some directors who maybe don't, that you've worked with?
They wouldn't even ask me.
And talk to me, you having this much time pass between Gladiator and Gladiator 2, when you think, like, how do you kind of get yourself immersed back into the world ahead of time?
I'm like a child. I look at pictures. Ooh, I like that. I look at pictures. I don't read. People say, you don't read history because I no. I'd fall asleep. I look at pictures. It's so covered with both engravings, illustrations, the whole Roman history. And then my units, I always tend to work with the same tight team. They do all the history lesson. I get the history lesson back from them. And because I was an art student, 7 years in art school, a long time, I can grasp anything visual.
That's so interesting.
I
would have really pegged you as like having history books memorized.
No, you're kidding me.
And just to wrap up, Ridley, I was curious. I think about this, and I think about Gladiator, and like, I'm sure if you look back in the box offices of the past decade, these are the ones that do well. But so, what do you say to people who say like they don't want franchises, they don't want sequels?
Well, it depends on how good the franchise is, and we were dying. We died. There were four aliens. I won't say which is the best one. Then it died, and I thought, you can't have this. So I rewrote with a very good writer, Damon Lindelof. We did Prometheus. That kicked the whole franchise. But the very last shot is a baby alien. We shot how it gave birth, which is disgusting.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And so you don't want to lose your dynamic. So the dynamics in this kind of movie are everything. And he had so much going on, he didn't need so much. That was it.
Can you share how long the first cut was?
No.
How did you know he was the right person to direct this movie?
Well, it's a previous work. Anyone has to qualify it. You don't give this to a starter, because you can get eaten alive by the studios.
Yeah, so shooting chronologically to not stress myself out as much about like in Rio, I feeling which kind of fears, or I really could just let it push me as opposed to que amo a la película de Prometeo. Esa es una de mis favoritas, pero también más que nada fue fue como que un proceso de pasar tiempo leyendo el guión, entendiendo todas las partes del grupo, y cada personaje tiene su propio rol. Y la de mí es un standalone y no tiene que saber ninguna cosa de las otras películas. Pero si eres un fan de las tortugas, esta es una carta de amor de las tortugas. Entonces vas a ver los Easter eggs, vas a emocionarte sobre todos los clues and hints de la primera película. Y por eso yo creo que es una película.
Hello, hello.
Thank you.
How you doing, girl?
I'm good. How are you?
Good to see you.
It's good to see you too. I'm prepared to be scared.
I'm prepared to be scared. I like that.
Well, I was actually curious. Are you the type that wants to read all the way to the end? No? Like, were you like, let me just check? Like, do I make it to the end?
No, I was along for the ride, and I was aghast for most of
One of those ones where sort of towards the end it kind of felt like a bit like a slug, because it had been, as the film kind of progresses, it gets more and more intense anyways.
Heels on that make people think I'm taller than I actually am.
Well, I resonate. I'm standing on an apple box, so
Nice.
yeah,
I need an apple box all the time.
Did you feel the earthquake this morning?
I was getting a massage. I didn't feel anything, to be honest. And honestly, I felt massages before, and people freaked out. I don't get what's the big deal. I don't get it.
Earthquakes or massages?
Earthquakes. Massages, I'll make a huge deal. I love a massage.
You don't get scared of earthquakes. That's pretty, you're badass.
Well, I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio. Like, we had tornado warnings, like snowstorms. Sometimes we couldn't even open the door to our house because there was like 5 feet of snow. People are built different in Ohio, you know.
I love that. So talk to me a little bit about joining this iconic franchise and sort of when you first got introduced to it. Do you remember?
Yeah, because it was recently. I was 20 years old, and when I got attached to this project, I was 22. So I'm like a newcomer to this franchise, and in more ways than one. But after I watched that first movie, I ended up watching all the rest of them immediately after, because it's that good. And honestly, I love Prometheus. I think it's great.
And what is it about it? Like, when you first saw it, was there like, did it traumatize you?
I think
a few years.
More than anything, it was absolutely terrifying. Correct, but then the fact that you lose hope through every character that you grow a connection with dying, that by the end of it, you really kind of lose faith in all of like humanity's ability to persevere. And so when they finally do against all odds, it's sort of like you're that much more grateful and happy for them. And I think that's what's really cool is like the stories, no matter what they're about, no matter what is written in the script, at the end of the day, the theme is humans' ability to overcome obstacles. We're very strong, and I love that.
And to wrap up, were you afraid of aliens as a kid?
I wasn't afraid of much. I think
you had tornadoes. You were building.
You know what it is? I draw the line at like the demonic stuff. Like that's where I draw the line. I can't even watch it. I will not do like a movie with it. This was where I was like, okay, first horror movie, I'll do like alien stuff. Yeah.
You're not like tempting the devil. You're just
no, never.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
And be a part of this legacy, and Ridley Scott praising it as well. It's like I said, it's so good.
No, I'm not. I'm excited. I'm not nervous. I'm really proud of this film, and I've seen it. A few weeks ago before Comic-Con. And I love it, even if I do say so myself. I was a really big fan of it, and everyone's brilliant in it, and everything from like the sound design to the xenomorphs and Legacy and Weta, those companies making all the sort of practical effects. I'm really proud of it, and I am excited for everyone to see it.
Do you remember the first time? I mean, I'm sure you did. The first time you saw the first one, was it recently?
No, it was a long time ago. My dad showed me it when I was far too young. I think it might have been about 8 or 9. And it really scared me, and I was having nightmares for a good few days afterwards. So that was my first experience. But that's why it's so special as well, because my dad loves those films. And,
I don't know.
loads of his friends and loads of my family do, and everyone knows Aliens. And now to get to be a part of that, to be a part of its legacy is amazing.
Was you shocked to hear when you got the part?
Yeah, well they know instantly. Everyone knows what Alien is, and they're like, oh, okay, wow, he's actually doing a proper film. This is a big film. He must be all right. Yeah, so surreal.
I love that. And did you feel the earthquake this morning?
I did. I wondered if that was like a common thing here. I know it sits between like two tectonic plates, or on the kind of border of it anyway. Wasn't expecting that. I was upstairs. I wasn't feeling too well. I was upstairs in my room, and the bed was like shaking.
The Mexican food.
Well, the Mexican food was also that was that.
You're getting the full California experience.
Oh, it's been a rough couple of days for me here. It hasn't actually been too kind to me. Maybe next time. I'm going to come back in about a month, so hopefully it's a bit better then. But yeah, the room started shaking. I thought it might have been some machinery. I went outside into the hotel corridor, and there was a cleaning lady, and she was up against the wall. I said, "What's going on?" She said, "Oh, it's an earthquake." I said, "Is it all right?" She said, "Yeah, it's fine." Then it stopped. It was like, it was my first ever experience of an earthquake, and I was like, I was on like the 11th floor, so I wasn't sure. I was like, "Oh no, where's the safest place to be?" I don't know what are you told to do?
You don't really know. Even if you live here, you're like, it always changes, so you're like,
where is the best place to be?
Out in the open?
Is out in the open?
They say that sets and falls, so under a table. Yeah, read up on it before you come back. Because it could happen again.
Okay, well hopefully not.
Congratulations, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
It's nice to meet you, Krista.
Did you feel the earthquake this morning?
I did. I had no idea what it was. I thought someone was driving a big tractor through my house, because I just got to LA, so I didn't know that it's like a common thing in LA apparently.
Yeah, and it was your first one.
Yes, and it only lasted a second, so I was okay.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of long. I felt longer than a second, but yeah.
Yeah, and then I was like, okay, it was an earthquake. Interesting.
So talk to me a little bit about your first intro to Alien. The first one.
Oh, okay. So I never watched the films before getting this role, but my brother is a big. He liked collecting action figures growing up, and he always had a xenomorph sitting on his shelf. I didn't know what it was when I was little, but I knew it was different because it was next to all the Marvel and DC superheroes, and I would be like, "What is that with the big head?" He'd be like, "You don't want to know. You don't want to know. You're too young. I'll show it to you when you're ready."
It's time, yeah.
I'll be like, "Whatever, stupid Big Brother stuff." And then, I got the self-tape request, and I was like, okay, time to do my homework. And I watched the first one, and I was like, my brother had a point. I was way too young, and even now it scared the bejesus out of me. But watching it from this is work, this is homework, really helped.
You got to put the professional hat on. Yeah, I know that feeling. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you, Krista.
Good health, good hunting. Don't fuck up. How did that really kind of amp you up and set you up for that first day of shooting, and honestly knowing that you had so much of his support throughout this process?
Well, what that note has been busy.
Did you feel the earthquake this morning?
I did. That's how it wasn't that bad. It was a bit of a this, and I was like, "Whoa, look at that."
Just want to see your question.
Yeah.
So I was talking to Ridley when he was walking the line, and he was talking about how you really took his notes really well, and he was impressed by sort of your ability to receive that. Can you talk? I could see as a director kind of thinking like, I'm an island and I can, do this thing myself. Can you talk about your philosophy on kind of collaborating and taking feedback?
Well, I think, a question that I get asked a lot promoting movies all the time is like, how much freedom did you have to do the movie you wanted? And that usually hides a question, which is how much the producers in the studio, messed with your vision and your movie, how much they heard it. And that's the wrong question, because the reality is like, a lot of the best movies, if you look at all the best masterpieces of cinema, and you ask the director, how was the process, he's probably going to tell you it was so hard because he had a studio that was fighting for a movie and he was fighting for a different movie. And I think it's the friction between sides that want to make slightly different movies that create the best movies, particularly when you have good producers in a strong studio that has been making good movies. That is the best. So I would never want to be on my own and do whatever I want. And I was lucky that I had him that has a very strong point of view of what Alien has to be, and I have a very strong point of view of what I think Alien has to be, and out of that hopefully comes out a great movie.
Thank you so much. It was great.
Thank you, guys.
It's a good night.
I think it's the whole thing. I can explain to you but I would say one of it is at least my technique. It's basically first, half hour of the movie.